Venice, the city of canals, gondolas, masked balls and quiet Italian elegance. A city so iconic, so dripping with history and art, it basically sells itself. But we're not here today to talk about its architecture or its history, as tempting as that is. Instead, we're going to talk about something way more linguistically suspicious. The name Venice. Across the world, most languages, despite their differences, more or less agree on how to say this city's name. In English it's Venice, in Italian it's Venezia. In French it's Venise. In Spanish it's Venezia. Even Japanese gets close with Venezia. Across all these languages it sticks to the same root. But then you get to Arabic, and Arabic says, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. Because in Arabic Venice is called al-Bunduqiyyah. Damn. And if you're wondering, Venice becomes the same word as rifle, yeah? No pause. If you know Arabic, this probably made you do a double take. Yeah, in Arabic, Venice and rifle are literally the same word.
What?
And of course, this raises some questions. Was Venice secretly the gun capital of medieval Europe? Did they invent the rifle? Is the Arabic word just a case of violent mispronunciation? Or is this just another example of language taking a hard left for no reason? We've got a mystery in our hands, and like any good mystery, we need to look at the evidence. So let's dig in and find out how the most beautiful city in Italy ended up sharing a name with a gun.
This grocery store is closed until this case is.
Dad, why are you acting like you know what you're doing?
A mystery team is a mystery. Why do they do what they do?
What?
What are you talking about?
Didn't you hear that poem at the beginning? It got me all fired up. They face dangerous graves while remaining brave to fight for what's right and what's true.
Let's be clear, Venice was already called al-Bunduqiyyah centuries before Bunduqiyyah ever meant rifle, so the city name came first. To understand why Bunduqiyyah became the Arabic word for rifle, we need to look at how Arabic builds words. Arabic is a root-based language. Most words are built from a set of 3 consonants, sometimes 4. This root system carries a general meaning, and by applying different vowel patterns or affixes, you get new related words. Take the root, for example, kataba, which is related to writing. So, kitab means book, katib, writer, maktaba means library. Same 3 letters, different patterns, different meanings. So when you see a word like bunduqiyya, it looks like it follows this system. We have the root bunduq, the suffix ya, meaning related to. So bunduqiyya means related to bunduq. But here's the twist. Bunduq is not a standard Arabic root. The word bunduq is actually a loan word, likely from Greek via Persian or Syriac, and it originally meant hazelnut. According to the 13th century dictionary Qamus al-Muhit, bunduq had 2 meanings, a hazelnut and also something thrown, like a pebble or a projectile. It even defines bunduq as alladhi yurma bih, that which is thrown. The dictionary does not say which meaning came first, but either way the word stuck. Now here's where it gets interesting. In the early Mamalik period, bunduq or bunduqiyya already referred to a different kind of weapon, the crossbow. Not the massive war crossbows, no, but pellet crossbows, used for hunting. They fire small stones at birds, and those pellets were, you guessed it, round, smooth and hazelnut shaped. So naturally the projectiles started being called bunduq, and over time the name shifted from the pellet to the weapon that launched it. One of the most famous Mamalik sultans, Al-Zahir Baybars, held the title of al-Bunduqdari, which literally means the one in charge of bunduq. So this title existed centuries before firearms became common. In other words, long before the rifle appeared, bunduq was already a military term. Later came the age of early firearms, like the arquebus, which fires small round lead balls. And what did those bullets resemble? Hazelnuts. So naturally, people started calling them bunduq rasas, leading hazelnuts. Then came the next logical step. The weapon that fired them, the bunduq, became the bunduqiyya, literally the thing that throws bunduq. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the city of Venice. So now that we've cleared up the whole rifle thing, let's explore another popular idea about where the word al-Bunduqiyyah might have come from. Here's the theory. Since Venice was ruled by a doge, basically a duke, maybe Arabic speakers once called it ad-Duqiyya, meaning the duchy. And over time, that supposedly evolved into al-Bunduqiyyah, Now this sounds clever. It's neat, it's royal, and it even feels like it could be true. And that's probably why this theory is widespread today, especially on social media. But here's the problem. There are zero historical records of Arabic writers referring to Venice as al-Bunduqiyyah. So while the idea of duchy is popular online today, it's not something you'll actually find in the sources. Secondly, Arabic does adopt foreign words, but it follows very predictable rules. For example, you have Valencia became Balencia, ba. That's the typical V-B shift. But this theory asks us to believe a random bay and sounds were added for no clear reason. That's just not how Arabic phonology works, you know. Let's get back to the real question. Why do Arabs call Venice al-Bunduqiyyah? No, it's not because of rifles, and surely it's not because of dukes. I've tried to simplify the history as much as possible to make this story clear and enjoyable without skipping the important parts. So the earliest Arabic mention comes from the 10th century in the geography book Kitabul A'laq al-Nafisa, the Book of Precious Things, written by Ibn Rusta. He quotes a traveler, Harun ibn Yahya, who passed through the city and calls it al-Bunduqis. Not quite al-Bunduqiyyah yet, but clearly on the way there. Around the same time, another geographer, Ibn Hawqal, describes the Gulf of Bunadiqin, meaning the Venetians. Bunadiqin deserves a closer look. The ending in is just a regular masculine plural in Arabic, like Muslimin or Salihin, so we can set that aside. What's left is Bunduq or Bunduqi, and that already sounds familiar. Across Europe, we find similar names for Venice, especially in Turkish. We have Venedikya. But where exactly did the name come from though? Well, Arab travelers most likely heard the word Venetiki or Venetikos, which is a Greek term, and by the 10th century, Emperor Constantine VII was already calling the people of Venice Venetiki, the new Venetians. And in a treaty from 992, there is a clear distinction between Venetia, the city, Venetiki, the people. So it's likely that the Arab travelers picked up Venetiki, probably through Latin or local dialects, not directly from Greek, and made it into Bunadiqin. Then Arabic grammar did the rest, as Bunduqi became Bunduqiyyah. Then we added the definite article, al, which means the, and we get al-Bunduqiyyah, meaning the place of the Venetians. So to sum up, the name al-Bunduqiyyah came from the people, not the place. So no, it was not named after rifles, and definitely not dukes. A name that traveled through Latin, Greek, and Old Venetian, was picked up by Arab travelers and reshaped by the rhythm and rules of the Arabic language, from Venetiki to Bunduqi to al-Bunduqiyyah. One name, a long journey.